Happy morning, children. Today we'll start female reproductive system. The parts of female reproductive system are ovaries. How many ovaries? 2 ovaries. Oviducts, they are also 2 in number. Uterus, vagina, and external genitalia. You know what is external genitalia? The part of female reproductive system which is visible from outside from outside. जो फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम का वो पार्ट जो हमको बाहर से दिखता है, बिकॉज अदर पार्ट्स यूटेरस, ovary, fallopian tube, this you cannot see from outside because it is situated inside the body, right? So those part of female reproductive system which could be seen from outside, that is external genitalia, right? Starting with the first part, ovaries. Ovaries are primary sex organs. We all know why are they primary sex organs, because they are directly involved in the process of formation of gametes. Which gametes? Female gametes, which are called as egg or ovum, right? Where are they located? Located one on each side of the lower abdomen, or you may call it upper pelvic cavity, right? So in this diagram you can see these are the ovaries. This is one ovary, this is another ovary. Diagram is even given in your NCERT book. These are the ovaries, right? The ovaries are attached to the uterus by ovarian ligaments. So you can see these are ovarian ligaments with which ovaries are attached to the wall of uterus, right? The ovary has 3 layered covering. The innermost layer of dense covering is tunica albuginea, right? Ovary has 3 layers. Innermost, tunica albuginea. The middle layer of germ cells called as germinal epithelium, and the outermost layer visceral peritoneum. So all those 3 layers could be seen very clearly in this diagram, right? This is the diagram of transverse section of ovary. So you can see this is the innermost layer, tunica albuginea, okay? Outside tunica albuginea is the layer of germ cells called as germinal epithelium, and the outermost layer external to outside germinal epithelium is the visceral peritoneum or mesoderm. So these are the 3 layers of ovary, right? Each ovary is 2 to 4 centimeter in length, right? And underneath tunica albuginea, the innermost layer of the ovary, there lies a ground substance called as ovarian stroma. And this ovarian stroma has 2 parts, the outer dense part and the inner less dense part. The outer dense part is called as cortex, and the inner less dense part is called as medulla. So what can we conclude? That ovarian stroma is divided into 2 parts, cortex, the outer part, medulla, the inner part, right? And the ovaries, actually what is their function? It is the part which produces the female gamete or the egg or the ovum, right? Next to ovary are the oviducts, are the fallopian tube. From here to here, this part of the female reproductive system, this is called as fallopian tube, right? So tube means undoubtedly they are tubular structure, 10 to 12 centimeter long, tube-like structure, right? And has 4 parts. The first part is infundibulum, right? What is infundibulum? It is a dilated matlab chauda, trumpet-like portion opening into peritoneal cavity, right? The end of the tube the end of the fallopian tube or the end of the infundibulum has finger-like projections, and those finger-like projections are called as fimbriae. And these fimbriae help in collecting ovum released after ovulation. So, in this diagram, this portion is called as infundibulum. See, it's labeled even in NCERT book. This is infundibulum, a dilated trumpet-like portion, and at the end of the tube has got minute finger-like projections, and these minute finger-like projections are called as fimbriae. So what is the function of fimbriae? They will collect the egg released by the ovary, right? And then that egg will be sent to other parts of the fallopian tube, right? After infundibulum, the next part is ampulla. It is the widest and the longest part of fallopian tube, right? So this region is ampulla. This is longest and the widest. Now, as you can see in the diagram, after ampulla, which part it is? Isthmus, right? So isthmus is short, narrow, thick-walled portion that follows ampulla. Okay, and in NCERT book, uterine part is not mentioned, only 3 parts are there, but isthmus opens into the next part, that is the uterine part. It is that part of fallopian tube that passes through uterine wall, right? So that is given in this book. This is uterine part. Okay, so what are the 4 parts of fallopian tube? Infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus, and the uterine part. You can see uterine part is opening into the uterus. Okay, now this fallopian tube is lined by a special type of epithelium, ciliated epithelium. In standard 11 we had read that hollow organs of the body, hollow visceral organs of the body, they are lined by ciliated epithelium. Which hollow muscular organs of the body? Like windpipe, like fallopian tube, right? So what is the function of ciliated epithelium? It helps in the movement of egg or ovum towards the uterus, right? Beating movement of cilia will help the egg to move towards the uterus, okay? And another function of fertilization, it is for the fallopian tube only where fertilization takes place. And which part of fallopian tube? Particularly in the ampulla, right? Coming to the next part, it is uterus. Uterus is also called as womb, okay? So you see the whole portion is called as uterus. Starting from here to here, it is uterus, right? So uterus is hollow, muscular, and inverted pear-shaped structure. Inverted pear-shaped मतलब उल्टा नाशपाती के shape का structure है. It is also supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall, right? This has ligaments which attach uterus with the pelvic wall at the back. What is its location? It lies between urinary bladder and rectum. That position could be seen here, right? This is rectum. Here is the urinary bladder, right? And in between the two lies the uterus. This is uterus. Got it? So it lies between urinary bladder and the rectum. Now this uterus has 3 parts, right? First part is the fundus. Which part? It is the upper dome shaped portion. In this diagram you can see this portion of the uterus which is above the level of fallopian tube. This part is called as fundus. Okay. Next is cornua. Cornua are the corners. Which corners? Where oviducts open into uterus. So this part of the uterus is cornua, the corners. Okay. Then comes the body, the main part which continues with the cervix. So this main portion from here to here, it is the body. From here to here, it is the body, the main portion where the fetus develops and completes its gestation period, right? And as you can see that this part of the uterus, the body part of the uterus, then opens into cervix, another opening, right? What is cervix? Lower neck-like region that opens into vagina. And you can see in this diagram that this cervix actually encloses a canal, and that canal is called as cervical canal. Okay. Now, cervix communicates above with the body of the uterus by means of an aperture called as internal os, right? And at the lower end, it has another opening to communicate with the vagina, and that is called as external os. Internal os for communication with uterus, in internal os, and external os for communication with the vagina. Okay. Now, the wall of uterus is 3-layered. What are the 3 layers? Perimetrium, our outermost layer, myometrium, the middle layer, and endometrium is the innermost layer. The wall of uterus is 3-layered. Outermost perimetrium, it is outer thin covering. Okay, the middle layer is myometrium. Okay, it is a thick layer of smooth muscle cells which shows strong contractions during the delivery of the baby during the childbirth, right? And the strong contractions of this myometrium only are felt as labor pain at the time of childbirth. बच्चे के समय में, जन्म के समय में जो दर्द होता है, that is because of the strong contractions shown by the smooth muscle of the myometrium. Okay, and then there is endometrium, the innermost glandular layer that has glands that are involved in the secretions, right? And it is endometrial layer of uterus that undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. Okay, so you see these are the 3 layers shown. This is perimetrium, outermost thin wall layer. This is myometrium, this is middle thick wall layer which made up of smooth muscles, and this is the innermost layer, endometrium, which undergoes cyclical changes. Cyclical changes का मतलब क्या है कि menstrual cycle के bleeding phase के टाइम पे जब bleeding phase होता है तो ये थिन हो जाता है, क्योंकि ये शेड, ये निकल के, ये झड़ के बाहर निकल जाता है along with the blood, right? और जैसे ही menstrual ब्लीडिंग फेज ओवर होता है ये फिर से थिक हो जाता है, राइट? तो साइक्लिकल चेंजेस इन व्हाट सेंस कि समटाइम्स in one phase of the menstrual cycle it becomes thin, in another phase of the menstrual cycle again it rebuilds itself, again it becomes thick. So that is the glandular layer, right? And it is this layer which actually helps in the attachment of the fetus, attachment of the embryo with the uterus. Okay? Now, coming to vagina, right? As you can see the diagram, cervix opens into other canal-like structure called as vagina. In this diagram, from here to here, this is vagina. This is cervix. Okay, this is internal os. This is external os. And this is opening into another tubular passage called as vagina, right? So vagina is about 10 centimeter long tube that extends from cervix to the outside of the body. Okay, and how will it open to the outside? By means of an opening called as vaginal opening, right? And this vaginal opening is partially covered by a membrane called as hymen. See, this vaginal opening is partially covered by a membrane called as hymen, right? And it is this hymen which is considered to be a sign of virginity. It is being said that hymen breaks up, it gets ruptured during first sexual intercourse. मतलब लेडी के साथ जब पहली बार, फीमेल के साथ पहली बार सेक्सुअल इंटरकोर्स होता है तो ये हाइमेन फटता है और इस हाइमेन के फटने से ब्लड निकलता है, थोड़ा सा ब्लीडिंग होता है. सो दैट ब्लीडिंग इज एन इंडिकेशन दैट द फीमेल इज वर्जिन, शी हैज़ नॉट अंडरगॉन सेक्सुअल इंटरकोर्स बिफोर, राइट. लेकिन नाउअडेज सिंस females are involved in a number of physical activities, running, jumping, horse riding, right? So it may get torn even without sexual intercourse. This is one case. And secondly, sometimes it may even remain intact आफ्टर द सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्स. तो किसी किसी में सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्स के बाद भी ये नहीं फटता है और किसी किसी में सेक्शुअल इंटरकोर्स के बगैर भी ये रप्चर हो सकता है. सो प्रेजेंस और एब्सेंस ऑफ हाइमेन इज़ नॉट अ रिलायबल इंडिकेटर ऑफ वर्जिनिटी. अगर पहले इंटरकोर्स में ब्लीडिंग नहीं हो रहा है इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि फीमेल वर्जिन नहीं है. इट कैनॉट बी कंक्लूडेड लाइक दैट. Right. Now, what is the function of vagina? ठीक है, it is vagina only that provides a passage for the menstrual flow. यहीं से मेंस के टाइम पे जो ब्लड बाहर आता है along with the unfertilized egg, it comes out this way only. It is the vagina only which receives the penis during sexual intercourse, right? And it is this portion only where the sperms are discharged, where the semen is discharged by the penis of male during sexual intercourse. Okay? Now, coming to external genitalia. External genitalia, as I have already explained, these are those parts of the female reproductive system which are visible from the outside, and it is also called as vulva. Right. The diagram is not given in NCERT book, but I am showing it is given in elementary biology. So if you have, you can go through it. The first part of vulva is mons pubis. What is mons pubis? It is the anterior most portion and is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. So in this diagram, this is the portion called as mons pubis, right? Next to mons pubis is clitoris. Clitoris is the most sensitive part. It is homologous to glans penis of male and contains erectile tissue, right? So here, this is the clitoris. It is highly sensitive part of the female reproductive system, right? Now, there are present two openings. One is urethral opening for the passage of urine and the vaginal opening for the passage of bleeding during menstrual cycle or for receiving the sperm during sexual intercourse, and these two openings are present in the midline of vulva, right? So here this is urethral opening for the passage of urine and this is vaginal opening, and you can see these are present along the midline of the vulva, right? Here the case is different from male where there is single opening for the passage of urine and sperm. In case of female there are two different openings, one for the passage of urine and another for the menstrual flow or for receiving the sperm. Okay, next, labia majora. Two large fleshy folds of skin which form the boundary of vulva, right? So vulva is actually guarded by two fleshy folds of skin, and these two fleshy folds of skin are only called as labia majora, which actually are partially covered by pubic hair and contain a large number of sebaceous or oil glands. Inner to labia majora are another two smaller folds of skin called as labia minora, right? So this and this is labia minora, two smaller folds of skin under labia majora, and they are fused posteriorly in this portion to form a part called as forechute. Right? The part between forechute and the anus is called as perineum. Okay, and in case of female reproductive system, there are glands also about which nothing is mentioned in NCERT book. Vestibular glands, and there are two types of vestibular glands, lesser vestibular glands, and as the name suggests, these are numerous minute glands present on either side of the urethral opening, right? And they secrete mucus. And then there is greater vestibular glands which are larger in size, right? And they are lesser in number, they are situated one on each side of the vaginal opening, right? And what is their passage? Their passage is to lubricate the area during sexual intercourse, right? So this is all for today's video. In the next video, we'll start with the some more parts of female reproductive system. Thank you, children.